Thank you, Maria, Mr. Vice President, Excellencies, dear friends. A good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the NATO Summit Defense Industry Forum. As we are in the middle of the World Cup, let me start with a little football analogy. And I do this with a heavy heart, as the Netherlands, my country, has been kicked out, and also Curaçao, which is part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, has been kicked out of the World Cup. But still, I maintain the football analogy. Because there is something I believe football teaches us. No team wins because of one brilliant player. We need a goalkeeper, you need the defenders, the midfielders, the strikers. And yes, everyone notices the player who scores the winning goal. But behind every successful player and team out on the pitch are many others on the bench and behind the scenes. The coaches, the trainers, the analysts, the people making sure everything works. Everyone matters, no one wins alone. NATO is much the same. It takes a whole team to deter and defend most effectively. Our political leaders set the direction. Our armed forces are on the pitch every single day. And you, our defense industry, provide the strength behind the team. The equipment, the innovation, the production capacity. To have power, resilience and endurance, we all need to be fully engaged in the game, working together for our shared security. You need us at NATO to tell you what our militaries need. That is the demand. And we need you to turn those requirements into real capabilities. That is the supply. That is why that we continue to build cooperation between NATO and industry. I have seen it grow and develop since I took over in 2024. I visited factories and facilities across the alliance, including here in Turkey. I've spoken with company leaders, engineers and workers on the factory floor. I've seen the innovation. I've seen the opportunity. And I see our partnership in action right here at this forum. This is what teamwork looks like. And this is a team that knows how to score. Last year at the NATO summit in The Hague, allies made important commitments to invest 5% of GDP in defense, to accelerate production and to speed up innovation. 1 year later, we can already see the results. Last year alone, European allies and Canada spent nearly 20% more on defense than the year before. An extra $139 billion. Looking at 2025 and 2026 together, it is an increase, again, Canada and the Europeans, of $258 billion, more than 250 billion. And that's just the additional investment. So basically one thing is clear. The money is there and much more is coming. But this cash must be put to work. It needs to purchase capabilities to actually deter and defend. Governments and the defense industry are laying the path by investing in expanding defense production. Over the last year alone, we have seen $37 billion invested in just boosting our defense industrial base itself. Again, think about this number, 37 billion to boost our defense industrial base. So larger factories, new production lines, more capacity. In fact, there is enough additional production space to cover more than 2,000 football pitches. And just this morning at the forum, substantial new contracts were signed and more big announcements were made. Altogether worth tens of billions of dollars and growing. That means more air defense systems and strike capabilities, more satellite communications, more ammunition, more drones and counter-drone systems, and increased resilience and preparedness. According to our projections, by next year, the alliance will have the capacity to produce around 4 million artillery shells annually, almost twice as many as last year. That's scale. So yes, we have made real progress. We are moving in the right direction. The strategy is clear. But the match is far from over. And to win it, we need all team members to pull their weight. Do more, faster, together. We don't have the luxury of time. We need capabilities now to ensure we remain ready. The security situation demands it. Russia. Russia is pouring almost half of its national budget into its war machine. Can you imagine? Almost 50% of what Russia spends is put into the war machine. Its defense industry is working around the clock. And not only the defense industry, also the rest of the industrial base in Russia is supporting the war effort. China continues to modernize its armed forces and expand its nuclear capabilities without transparency. North Korea continues to expand its nuclear program and supply Russia. And while recent US action has significantly degraded Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs, we must remain vigilant. These countries are increasingly working together. And that should concern us all. Because I assure you, they do not have our best interests in mind. So that's what we are up against. That's the reality we face. To meet the challenge, we need a transatlantic defense industrial revolution. The hum of machinery must become a roar. Now, that sounds dramatic, but it can be done. Governments have their role to play. They must continue placing long-term orders and signing contracts. Today is an excellent example of that kind of contracts we need to put on the table. More of that, please. We need a bonfire of red tape in our procurement and in our cross-border regulation. Both government and industry must continue investing in production capacity. Governments must also create the conditions for industry to expand and cooperate. Factories need reliable energy, electricity and fuel. They need secure supply chains. And above all, they need skilled people. Engineers, technicians, innovators. At the same time, industry across all of the nations represented here must be ready to take more risk. The demand is there and you know it. We are being much more open about what we need. At the summit, we are releasing publicly for the first time a consolidated demand signal outlining our requirements. We will help ensure you know the demand and understand it. And you also know the market is growing. Allies will continue to invest in defense. This is not an anomaly, this is a trend. Lastly, no single nation and no single industry can power an industrial revolution alone. But the good news is that we don't have to, because we have NATO. We combine the assets, the technologies and the industries of 32 countries across Europe and North America. That's incredibly powerful. We have an unequal pool of talent, creativity and expertise out there. And many are right here in this room today. And we are even stronger when we work together with our partners. With Ukraine, of course, which continues to innovate at incredible speed. It now boasts an unparalleled drone ecosystem. And we are creating opportunities for more industrial cooperation and co-production with Ukraine. We must seize this opportunity. We are also building industrial cooperation with the European Union and countries in the Indo-Pacific. I've seen the Japanese defense minister and others here in this room today. Welcome. Because when we combine our efforts, we produce more, we innovate faster, and we strengthen all our security. So today, we are on the cusp of the transatlantic defense industrial revolution. I'm asking you to take a leap and show our people that we are ready and capable to protect them anywhere at any time. And show Russia and all those watching today that the transatlantic defense industrial base is mobilizing with purpose. Not in anger, but for our collective security. So let me finish where I started. Winning teams prepare. They train, they invest, they build trust, and they keep improving. That's exactly what we must continue to do. The partnership between NATO and industry is the winning one. So now, let's deliver even more, even faster, and together. Thank you.
Arkadaşlar, önce evet. Ama yavaş yavaş herkes hazır olsun. Bu tarafa geçmeyelim arkadaşlar, diğerleri. Burayı da zorlarlar ondan.
Ya şöyle bir şey yapabilir miyiz Gözden? Şunu şöyle çekelim yani şunu ikisini ortasına alalım. Ama yani burada en azından ortada
Erdoğan abiye sor. Şu an önce uçak. gelmeyeceksiniz. Gideceğim. Detaylar çıktı. Bak ben hep hazırlık detayı çekiyorum. Gel, bana bir son bekleyin.
Sağ tarafı açarız. Durun bir amirim ya.
Abi silahların alınması yapıyorlar ama bunlar göstermiş abi. Orada dedim tamam.
Sen de bilmiyorsun.
Aynen ben de aynısını dedim. Sordu bana. Yok.
Tamam. Tamam dedi de tamam dedim. Al.
Evet abi. Evet, onlar yanlış yapmadı herhalde. Tamam abi.
The journalists are coming.
Now we can catch you.
They are coming right now. It's not a problem. Osman and yeah, it's not a problem. They want to meet you too. Okay. Danny? Were you going also? You guys keep going. Go, go, go. Right here. You're out of the way. Yep. Sorry. You guys are blocking broadcast right now. Yep. Sorry. So sorry, Alex. That's fine. You guys get down for a second. Sorry. I understand. I'm sorry. I forgot. Well, there's just no space right here. It's like flip the plus and then you're all your guys right here. But I'll bring that. If you want to, if that's fine with you, then that's fine with me. Hey guys. They're gonna come right across here. I need yeah, you need to tell them, hey guys, can we I need y'all to back up.
Sorry. Grace, can I stay here or not?
No, I need you guys to move behind this because President Erdoğan.
Okay. It's a good thing we knew this.
Yeah, they just
So where do you want us now?
right here. Right here.
Oh, hey, buddy. Good. How are you doing?
We're right here. We're gonna move once he's out. We're gonna move back onto the carpet. Move just yes.
John, we gotta come back in here.
All right.
No. I mean, we figure out what we're doing.
We just walk out. They just came out. They're coming out.
Get your info.
How's it going?
Stay low. Stay low in front of me, that's all. We're gonna go back over to carpet. Go to kneel on.
This guy right here.
Okay, stand up. What? In the door. In the door. Great. Can we? So,
Hey, wait, can I do it because I'm way back here? And then also their camera. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Yeah, she's staying here. This is for God. God's in a second. Once President Erdoğan comes out, we'll go back to the yeah. Sorry about the and then we can go behind the full cameras and get there.
Anna, where's John?
I'm here. It's this guy back there. They're Erdoğan officials. He's following. I told them that you guys are following. White shirt. Yeah.
Dude, that's a bit strong. How are you? Going right
No, it's not here.
In the way, John.
That's an actually can't see. I don't see him.
I don't hear anything.
I only saw you.
Gözden başkanım. Şurada bir adım geriye gitmelerini rica edebilir miyiz? Bir adım. Çok
Slide back. It's behind this white line.
one or two steps.
I've got one right.
I want one.
Another PVC. Yeah. It's in the big pocket, not the little.
This one going
You're not getting anything?
You just want to.
I don't see him anywhere.
You don't.
belli olmaz. Duralım yine. Yeah.
I don't give any audio yet, but I want to make sure he.
Yeah, I have Sam.
Are you shooting the tight shot or wide shot?
What's that?
Are you shooting the wide shot or tight shot?
I'm tighter.
Okay. Maybe I'll do the a little wider.
Okay.
Because I'm cutting your head off.
Okay.
And then when I move, I'll go tighter.
And I'll go wide. Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Wide-ish.
Clearance there, and I'm up like. Okay. Not that much. Right?
First time you took? Inankara first time. Inankara? First time. Yeah. 4-5. Oh, yeah. Different person. How many just read it? How many played what? 7. Oh, well. This is my first time. Oh, it is? Welcome. Thank you. Ben buradayım. Bana mı şey diyorsun? Are you staying right here? You're right between me and the door. Okay. Yes. Coming through.
are you done? Or do you need some more time?
Araçlar geldi buraya, araçlar. Araba.
I think I'm setting for support.
Dönüyorum ben.
Şimdi takip edeceğim.
Merhaba asker. Nasılsınız? Sizler de sağ olun.
Sağ duruş. Döner at. Noktası. Selam. Dur. Dikkat. Görüşürüz. Hazır bırakacağım.
Merhaba, asker.
Görev bitmiş gereksiz. Dur!
Kardeşim.
Okay. Teşekkür ederim.
Top delegation, passport, time check. US side. Mr. Please.
Welcome, Mr. President.
Öncelikle NATO Liderler Zirvesi'nde değerli dostumla Ankara'da bir arada olmak bizlere ayrı bir güç katmıştır. Kendilerine hoş geldiniz diyorum.
First, here on the occasion of the NATO summit, I would like to welcome my valuable friend, Mr. President Trump, who has participated here today with us and added strength to the summit that we are convening for.
Ve bu ziyaretin ne kadar önemli olduğunu özellikle ifade etmek istiyorum.
And I would like to express how important this summit is that we are here gathering for.
NATO Liderler Zirvesi'nin bugün Ankara'da yapılıyor olması ve tüm liderlerin şu anda ülkemizde bir araya gelmesi, yarın değerli dostum Sayın Trump'la birlikte olması bizlere ayrı bir güç katacaktır.
The fact that we are convening here today for the NATO Ankara summit and that all the leaders are arriving and tomorrow with the presence of President Trump, which will be adding might and strength to our summit.
Kendilerine tekrar hoş geldiniz diyorum.
Once again, I would like to say welcome, Mr. President.
Well, I want to thank you very much. As everybody knows, it's been very much reported. We are great friends. The president has done an incredible job. Building named after me. I was very happy about that. That was very nice. The airport is absolutely beautiful. The roads coming in were brand new and beautiful. And you've been a great leader and a respected leader all over the world. And we really do. We've had right from the beginning good chemistry. We've had a very special relationship. Turkey has become, under the president, a very powerful country militarily. People don't know how powerful, actually. They have a lot of our equipment, and they have a lot of great soldiers, and they're really somebody to be reckoned with. And the nice part is that because of the relationship that we have, it's all gone very well. I just want to say that I have a lot of respect for the president, and I think it's really to the benefit of both countries. We're going to be talking today about trade. We're going to be talking about other things having to do with the military, lots of different things. Probably we'll mention Iran, where we have essentially decimated their military. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. And we're going to have some very good discussions. But we do a lot of trade with Turkey. We make great things and they make great things. And we've had it's had a very big impact on both of our countries. So I just want to tell you that it's an honor to be with you. And we're going to have a lot of good meetings. We're going to have good dinners, good food. We're going to have a good time, but mostly we're going to have a lot of work, and we're going to do good things for our countries. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, havama kadar geldiniz. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz o yüzden. Çok uzun süren bir dostluğumuz var biliyorsunuz. Son derece saygı duyduğum, yakın bulduğum bir insansınız. Buradaki buluşmalarımızda, görüşmelerimizde 3 konudan bahsedeceğiz. Askeri, ticari ve bir de İran konusundan bahsedeceğiz. Gerçekten çok güçlüsünüz. Çok güçlü askeri ve silah sanayi açısından çok güçlü bir yerdesiniz şu anda. Dolayısıyla teşekkür ediyorum ve çok iyi bir vakit geçirdiğine inanıyorum.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. President, are you going to sell F-35s to Turkey, and what about the legal restrictions?
Well, it's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good relationship. I would think that many people, I can tell you, many people, including the people sitting right here, thinks, why wouldn't we do that? We have a better relationship with Turkey, and Turkey's been in many ways much more loyal than other countries that we think would be loyal. So, yeah, it's something certainly we would consider. It's a great plane. It's the best, currently the best plane by far. And it's certainly something we will consider, yeah. Yes, Daniel, please.
Geçen hafta dediğimiz gibi Erdoğan benim buraya Suriye'ye gelmemin sebebi buradaki dostluğumuz neden özel.
You never know why a relationship is special. Some people you get along with, and some people you don't. Sometimes you get along with the toughest people, like him, and sometimes you don't get along with the weakest, most pathetic people. You just don't get along. Maybe you don't respect them, but from the day we met, we got along. We had a pastor, as I remember, his name was Pastor Brunson, and it was a very big thing, and it was very traumatic. He was sentenced to a long-term prison sentence, and I felt he was innocent, and I called. Other people called. They got nowhere. I called the president, and he released him immediately. It was something that the evangelical community will never forget, and because he was a good man, Pastor Brunson. So, just things like that. We just it's always worked out. And I think it's been from the very beginning, from the first moment. It's just, I said it before, it's a chemistry that works between us. There are those that I don't have a good chemistry with, I will tell you that. And we work that out too.
Mr. President, are further troop drawdowns in Europe are you likely to announce further troop drawdowns in Europe?
Say it?
Are further troop drawdowns in Europe likely? And are you satisfied with the progress that NATO allies have?
Well, we're going to see. I was very disappointed with NATO. And frankly, if it weren't held in Turkey, where my friend happens to be a very strong leader, a very strong person, it's possible that I wouldn't have attended. I felt I had to attend because of the fact that, I know he's gone all out. It was a big thing to have NATO come to Turkey or any place else. It's a big thing. But we weren't treated well because we did something in Iran. We don't need anybody's help. I didn't even want their help. But before I asked, they said they wouldn't be there. And we've invested trillions of dollars in NATO. Why? To protect European countries and others, Canada, etc., but to protect people, countries from, generally speaking, it used to be the Soviet Union, now it's Russia. And I say that's fine, but you would think that they'd be very willing to do something to help us, and they really weren't. In the case of the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister, I guess he's no longer there, maybe because of this. It was a very unpopular thing he did. He said, no, we'll help after the war is over. I said, I don't need that kind of help. We didn't need any help at all. And in a way, I was testing people. I was testing to see whether or not they'd be there, because I've long said that we help them, but I'm not sure that they'd be there for us. And Italy turned us down, and Germany turned us down, and France turned us down. And it's okay. But, why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars and they're not there for us? We've always been there for them.
Türkiye ile Suriye arasında Türkiye'de efendim
İran'daki savaşın sona erdirilmesi için oldukça çaba sarf ettiniz. Müzakere süreci devam ediyor ancak nihai bir anlaşma noktasına gelinmiş değil. Bundan sonraki süreçte Türkiye nasıl adım atacak İran ve ABD arasındaki müzakere sürecinin olumlu bir şekilde neticelenmesi için?
Bu süreçte yine aynı şekilde bizler İran-Amerika ilişkilerini nasıl bir düzleme kavuştururuz? Onun gayreti içerisindeyiz. Elimizden geleni yapmak suretiyle dünya barışına bir adım atalım diye gerek şahsım, gerek arkadaşlarım hep birlikte çalışacağız.
Gazeteyi sormak isterim.
ben sizlere. 80 bine yakın insan hayatını kaybetti Gazze'de. Çok büyük de bir yıkım var. Ateşkes sağlandı ama yer yer ihlaller devam ediyor. Ateşkes ihlallerinin önlenmesi için, insani yardımların Gazze'ye girebilmesi için, ayrıca Gazze'nin yeniden inşa edilebilmesi için önümüzdeki süreçte ortak atabileceğiniz adımları değerlendirecek misiniz muhatabınızla? Müsaade buyururlarsa kendisinin de bu konudaki fikirlerini almak isteriz. Teşekkür ederiz efendim.
Özellikle Gazze konusunda tabii değerli dostumla bunları da konuşarak özellikle bu bölgedeki barışı sağlama için bu liderler zirvesini çok önemsiyoruz ve bu liderler zirvesinden aynı şekilde bir kararın çıkmasını da hayra yorumluyoruz ve bunun olabileceğine de ben ihtimal veriyorum.
Efendim, Türkiye-ABD ilişkilerinin geliştiği bir dönemi gözlemliyoruz. 2025 yılında geçen yıl Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'ne yaptığınız ziyarette önemli ticari anlaşmalar da imzalandı. Suriye konusunda Türkiye'nin önemli bir aktör olduğunu söylemişti Sayın ABD Başkanı. Şimdi yeni dönemde gelmeden önce de Sayın Trump bir sürprizle geliyorum ifadesini kullandı. F-35'i, Kaan savaş uçaklarının motorlarını konuştuk. Acaba gündeme gelebilir mi şeklinde. Siz bu sürprizin ne olduğunu düşünüyorsunuz? Türkiye bugünkü görüşmelerden sonra istediğini alabilecek mi? Teşekkür ederim.
Tabii F-35 konusu biliyorsunuz bizim için yeni bir konu değil ve bunu bizler Amerika ile daha önce de görüştük ve biz 5 uçağı da sözünü aldık ve Sayın Trump'ın bu konuda bize ayrıca sözü var ve şimdi de bu liderler zirvesinde yapacağımız görüşmelerde F-35 ile ilgili kendilerinden bu daha önce aldığımız sözün ben geleceğe yönelik olumlu şekilde test ettiğimizi biliyorum ve bu konuda da Sayın Trump her zaman sözünün arkasındadır. Burada yine inşallah F-35 konusunda bu liderler zirvesinden hayırlı bir karar çıkacağına inanıyorum.
What does that mean?
Is it going to be handed over to a third party? Is that not part of the deal?
Third party? What is the third, with respect to what?
There's our concerns about the Russian missile defense systems. Do you have those concerns about this system? Are they going
I have no concerns at all about anything. I mean, he's a leader of a country that he's made a much better country, much more powerful country, and you see it. I mean, it's beautiful. You get off, the roads are beautiful. It's an amazing thing. Now, I have no concerns about anything having to do with Turkey. The relationship, I would say the relationship with Turkey right now is better probably than it's ever been. It was good in my first 4 years, but I think now it's probably even better than that, if that's possible.
Sir, U.S. military and Turkish military constitute a really strong and large military base for NATO. Are we expecting further defense cooperation out of this bilateral meeting, out of this NATO summit here in Ankara?
Well, we're going to find out when I go there. We're going to find out. We're going to be having meetings. I'm very friendly with many of the leaders. You know, some of them are new. We don't know them. But, you know, I've been doing this for now sort of a long time. If you count the 4 years where we had a rigged election, you know, I was very much into politics then too. But I spent the first 4 years, I spent 4 years in a little different state. And then we've had an amazing, probably the best year maybe ever had by an American president. When you look at the economy, we have the greatest economy we've ever had. We have $19 trillion, $19.2 trillion to be exact, being invested in the United States. That's 7 or 8 times more than it's ever had. It's a world record, not just a U.S. record. And I just read where, in fact, coming over, I was in the car with those beautiful horses, those great riders, those great soldiers, and it came over the wires that Toyota is moving out of Mexico into the United States and building one of the biggest truck and car plants ever built. It's amazing. That's what tariffs do, if properly used. And so we've never had a more exceptional economy or potential economy. There's never been anything like it. Under the last administration, they did much less than $1 trillion of investment coming in. And we're at 19.2 trillion in actually the first 12 months, because that's where it's, really, so we're there a year and a half, so that number is now substantially higher. But 19.2 trillion, Scott, for a period of 12 months. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. So we have by far the greatest economy. We have more jobs right now in the United States than ever before. And we have a great relationship with some countries on trade, and Turkey happens to be one of them.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, siz her fırsatta dünya beşten büyüktür, daha adil bir dünya mümkün tutuyorsunuz. Bugün konuğunuz Sayın Trump, ABD Başkanı. Onun da zaman zaman küresel sistemin mevcut durumuna ilişkin eleştirilerini biliyoruz. NATO'nun iki en büyük askeri gücü olarak bu noktada, bu eleştiriler doğrultusunda ortak bir adım, ortak bir girişimde bulunması önümüzdeki süreçte söz konusu olabilir mi?
NATO'da iki önemli ülke olarak gerek Amerika gerekse Türkiye, bizler bu liderler zirvesinden de dayanışma içerisinde güçlü bir çıkışı sağlayacağız ve bunu da başaracağımıza inanıyorum.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı Rusya-Ukrayna savaşı konusunda savaşın başından bu yana ara buluculuk tesis ettiğiniz, iki ülkenin Dışişleri Bakanlarını Antalya Diplomasi Forumu'nda bir araya getirdiniz. İstanbul'da çok önemli müzakereler yürüttünüz. Bu zirve kapsamında da Sayın Trump'ın Sayın Zelenski ile görüşeceğini biliyoruz. Nihai aşama olarak hangi noktadayız? Savaşın sonlanması konusundaki gidişata ilişkin değerlendirmeniz nedir? Teşekkürler.
Antalya Diplomasi Forumu'nda Dışişleri Bakanlarınız bir araya geldiler. İstanbul müzakere sürecini de...
Is that for me?
Burada.
Are you asking me or are you asking the president? The president, yes.
Biz Rusya-Ukrayna arasındaki bu gelişmeleri de yine değerli dostumla burada paylaşacağız, görüşeceğiz ve ona göre de adımlarımızı atacağız.
Televizyon kanalından Hatice Kübra Bal. Benim sorum da aslında az önce biraz yanıtladınız ama Türkiye'nin 5. nesil uçağı Kaan motorları için F-110 motorlarından söz edeceğiz. Aynı zamanda kasa yaptırımları ve bu bağlamda da F-35 alımı ile ilgili aslında bu görüşmeden bir somut sonuç bekleyebilir miyiz? Onu merak ediyoruz.
Ben bunu daha önce değerli dostumla görüştüm ve Kaan'la ilgili onun motorları noktasında bu liderler zirvesinde bu görüşmeyi değerli dostumla tekrar bir araya geldik. Onu görüşeceğiz ve inanıyorum ki bununla ilgili bize verdiği müjdeyi burada da tekrar edecektir ve bu müjdeyle de herhalde liderler zirvesinde kendisine teşekkür edeceğiz.
You know, I might add that Turkey bought planes. It's the best plane. But they bought planes from the United States. And when you buy a plane from the United States, if there's engine rehab and other things that are done to engines, there's various things that happen, including just maintenance. I think we have an obligation to maintain engines and help them maintain engines. When you buy a plane from us, what are we going to do? Say you're buying a plane if the engine needs work or if the engine has to be rehabilitated or even upgraded somewhat. But I think we have an obligation to do that. What are you going to do? Say, I'm not going to do that? Look, Turkey's been, I know, a lot of people don't agree, although I think with time they're starting to. Turkey has been a great ally for us. Turkey could have gone on the side. They know Iran very well. and they know the problems with Iran. But they've been very instrumental, along with a couple of other countries, of helping. They could have gotten into the fight. You know, I hear some people saying about their relationship with Israel. They could have gotten into the fight. They're a very powerful military nation. They didn't do that. Maybe they didn't do that because of me. But they could have gotten into the fight on the other side. They are a nation that's been very, very good, and I can speak for myself as president. They've been extraordinary in many ways with respect to our relationship, including trying to end the war with Iran, or whatever you call it. It's not even a war, it's a military operation. It's a denuclearization. That's really what it is, of Iran, because I don't think he wants to see them have a nuclear weapon either. I'm pretty sure of that. In fact, I'm totally sure of that. So, but when they buy a product from us, whether it's a plane or anything else, when it's time for maintenance, I think don't we have an obligation to help them? What are we going to do? Say we're not going to let you use the product that you spent a lot of money in buying? And especially when it's been somebody that frankly has been more helpful to the United States than many other more traditional countries. I do. I had a very good talk with President Putin, who, by the way, has a lot of respect for President Erdoğan, a lot of respect for him. We had a long talk yesterday, it lasted a long time, and I also spoke with President Zelensky right after that. I think they both want to make a deal. It's too bad it took so long, but I think there's going to be, something's going to come out, and the president's also helping us with that, but I think there's something. You know, I settled 8 wars, and I think we're going to be settling a 9th. It doesn't seem likely now, but sometimes with war, I see when it's least likely, that's when it happens. I had a very good talk with President Putin. I had a very good talk with, I would say, as a combination. A lot of times I'd do well with Putin, and Zelensky would be a problem, or vice versa. Zelensky would be great, and Putin would be. They both want to get it settled now. More than that, that's all I do in my life is deals. I know deals. And I think I think we're going to get it settled, hopefully soon. Last month, 35,000, mostly soldiers, died. The month before that, it was 24,000. The month before that, it was 27,000. And the month before that, it was 29,000. But last month, it was 35,000 young soldiers, mostly soldiers, died. And that's crazy.
işbirliklerinden bahsediyoruz, ancak savunma sanayi işbirliğimizi sürdürebilmemiz için Amerika'nın katsayı yaptırımlarını da kaldırmış olması gerekiyor. Sayın Büyükelçi Barak burada. Kendisinin bu konuda aslında mesajları da oldu geçtiğimiz aylarda. Sayın Başkan'ın da bu konuda olumlu düşündüğünü biliyoruz. Hem ticaret hacmi hedefine ulaşmak hem de NATO zirvesinde burada Sayın Trump gelmeden önce de açıkladılar. Aslında Türkiye'nin hatırıyla zirveye katıldığını da açıkladılar ama aynı zamanda katsayı yaptırımlarının Türkiye'ye uygulanıyor olmasının bir tezat olduğu düşünülüyor. Bu noktada bu görüşmede artık somut bir netice alınabilir mi? Ayrıca siz bunu gündeme taşıyacaksınızdır. Muhtemelen Sayın Başkan'ın da bu konudaki düşünceleri de alabilirsem mutlu olurum. Teşekkür ediyorum.
I can tell you, we're going to be taking the sanctions off. Okay? I don't want him to waste his time answering that question because we're working very closely with Marco Rubio, very famous man, great Secretary of State, and with Scott Bessent and with Pete and everybody else. We're going to be taking the sanctions off. It's time to do that. Okay? We don't want to sanction friends. It's very simple. There's plenty of people we can sanction, and we are sanctioned. We don't want to sanction friends. And because of the president, you know, we have a very good relationship with the new leader of Syria, and he's done an amazing job. In a year and a half, he's pulled the whole country together. And I have a very great relationship with him. And somebody said, well, he's pretty rough to put him there. I approved him along with the president. We were the two that really wanted him. And he's done a great job. He's done a great job. He's pulled it together. Not an easy job. media post yesterday with respect to Prime Minister Maloney, that True Social post with the restraining order? Oh, I don't know. I think she's a nice person, actually. We've had a good, we had a bad relationship. It became a little bad because she refused to help us. Again, I didn't put a heavy press on her, but she refused to get involved with the Hormuz Strait, or you could also say just Iran. She refused to get involved. So it soured my relationship with her a little bit. But I like her. I think she's a nice person, actually. But I think she made a mistake. You know, they get a lot of their oil from, we don't get any of our, we have a lot of oil. The United States has more oil than anybody. And when you add Venezuela to it, it's like we have far more oil than anybody. We don't need the straits. We do this because we think it's an important thing to do. But she just wasn't there for us. And I wasn't happy about that. You can imagine, I wasn't happy about that.
Why do you think that? What conditions have changed? Did Putin seem...
About with what?
Russia, Ukraine. Did Putin seem open to any concessions that he
Never
had?
changed. I just don't want him killing people. You know, it doesn't affect the United States. When Biden was here, he gave them hundreds of billions of dollars worth of equipment. Now I sell the equipment for, you know, fair price, the full price. And I sell it not to Ukraine, I sell it to the European Union. They pay us. But with me, it's not anything to do other than I'd like to save lives. You have 25, 35, 30. One time it hit 41,000 a month souls. They're dead. They leave their mother in Ukraine. They leave their mother and father in Russia, Ukraine. They wave goodbye. And a week later, they're dead. It's crazy. And I would like to see. It doesn't affect us. It's really, you know, it's far away. It affects Europe much more. We're there to help Europe. But it doesn't affect the United States. We have an ocean in between. But, you know, it's just, I can't stand watching what's happening. I've seen the pictures of those battlefields, and it's a drone war. It's a war of drones. It's a whole new technology. And we're actually the leader in drones now. We have the most sophisticated drones, but people wouldn't believe how violent it is. And I've seen the battlefields. They send me pictures. I actually want to say, don't send them to me. Pete, this man right here sends me pictures. Pete Hegseth. And I said, Pete, you know what? Doesn't help to look. I've never seen anything like it. It's carnage. And it should stop.
Open to any concessions to end the war? Did Putin seem open to any concessions to end the war in your call with him?
I get along very well with both, and we're going to get it settled. And President Erdogan's helping us get it settled, as he's helping with Iran. With respect to what? Well, that's what hurt my relationship with NATO. Because Greenland doesn't help Denmark. Denmark doesn't spend money to really help Greenland, but it's an important part for the United States. And it's surrounded by China ships and Russian ships. And that's not going to happen. The ships it's not going to happen. It was Greenland that, and it continues to be, that should be controlled by the United States, not by Denmark. And when they wouldn't go along with it, and with all the money we spend to help them with Russia, and we don't have to spend any money, we could remove all of our soldiers out of Europe. Because as you probably noticed, Europe's a very different place than it was 20 years ago. A lot different, much different. It's a much different, and they better be careful with immigration and energy. If they're not careful with those two things, you're not going to have a Europe anymore. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Değerli arkadaşlar,
one thing, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Harika gerçekten. İnanılmaz.
Thank you.
you very much, sir. Nerede?
35. Gelenleri
Fatih Başı, Astur! Haydi! Ya Allah! Çek başı, Astur! Haydi! Ya Allah! rally marşı. Astur. Haydi. Ya Allah.
Dokuzda geliştik ya. Dokuzda geldiğimiz zaman
Rally marşı. Astur. Haydi. Ya Allah. Tekbir ve çek marşı. Astur. Haydi. Ya Allah. Tek marşı, hostur! Haydi! Ya Allah! Teklerhaneyi Hakkani Marşı. Destur. Haydi. Ya Allah. Devlet marşı, hastur. Ya, dur. Haydi, ya Allah. Fatih marşı, hastur. Haydi, ya Allah. Marşı Hastur. Haydi yallah. Devlet başı hastur. Haydi ya Allah. Fatih Marşı, Hastur! Haydi, ya Allah!
Size de çok selamlar söylüyor. Biliyorum ki yarın gelecek. Eşit görmek için Paris'ten gittim. Sinon vous accepterez pas son biliyorum. Bana da söylemişler. Çok seviyorum.